Listen closely because what I'm about to say will make some of you uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. If you're sitting there waiting for her call, refreshing your phone every 5 minutes, stressing over why she hasn't texted, you're already losing. And, believe it or not, the truth is much harsher than you think. When a woman doesn't call or text you, it's never complicated or she's just busy. It's a signal, a message she's sending, and the way most men respond to it is exactly why they stay stuck, confused and frustrated in the dating world. Let's get one thing straight. Many men have been taught to overthink this. They tell themselves, maybe she's tired, maybe she's at work, maybe she's dealing with something personal. And while that's possible, the harsh reality is this. If a woman wanted to talk to you or be with you, she would find a way. That's not rude. That's not sexist. That's pure, raw human behavior. Men get it twisted because they've been told to wait, be patient, and hope she reaches out. I'm here to tell you that approach is a trap that keeps you weak, insecure, and chasing what should already be coming to you naturally. Here's why most men fail. They confuse interest with politeness. They see a woman smile at them, respond to a text occasionally, or laugh at a joke, and suddenly they think there's a connection deeper than reality. Then they invest emotionally, sending multiple texts, calling, worrying if she lost interest when the truth was written all over her behavior from the start. A woman's silence is never neutral. It's either intentional or a reflection of where you actually stand in her mind. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you reclaim your confidence, your power, and your time. Let's be honest, the modern dating world has made men soft. Men are willing to wait days for a message that might never come, all while convincing themselves it's about patience or respect. But here's a controversial truth. If you're constantly waiting for her attention, you're placing your value in her hands, and that is the fastest way to destroy your self-respect. Every minute you spend obsessing over her silence is a minute you could be improving your life, building your status, and becoming the man who doesn't chase because the right woman will seek you, not the other way around. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but maybe she's genuinely busy. Maybe she's stressed. Maybe I should give her space. And yes, giving space is fine when it's mutual respect, not fear of losing her. There's a huge difference between waiting because you're secure in yourself and obsessing because you're scared of being alone. Most men fall into the latter. And here's the kicker. Women instinctively notice this fear. They can sense when a man is chasing approval instead of leading with confidence. And if you're chasing approval, guess what? You're signaling weakness. Not charm, not patience, not maturity, weakness. Let me break it down even more simply. Silence is a statement. It's her way of showing you one of three things. 1, she's not interested. 2, she's testing your reaction. Or 3, she's unsure. And in that case, she will reach out if she wants to figure it out. Nothing more, nothing less. The mistake men make is trying to decode maybe into a plan of action that keeps them emotionally dependent. That's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Your actions, your energy, your time should always communicate this simple truth. You are a man with a life, with standards, with priorities. You are not waiting for anyone to validate your worth. Here's another controversial part. Society has trained men to believe that showing interest equals respect and ignoring a woman equals disrespect. That's complete nonsense. Respect is earned, not begged for. When you wait endlessly for someone to call or text you, you're not showing respect, you're showing desperation, and nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. Women are not immune to this. Even subconsciously they feel it, and it changes how they perceive you. So if you're one of those men who's constantly refreshing your phone, anxiously checking messages or trying to analyze why she hasn't called, it's time to wake up. This video isn't here to make you comfortable. It's here to rebuild your mindset, teach you how to recognize signals clearly, and help you stop wasting time and energy on women who aren't actively choosing you. Because here's the most controversial truth of all. Most men are invisible to women. Not because of looks, money, or status, but because they've given their power away by waiting for attention that will never come. This is the moment you need to realize. A woman not reaching out isn't a mystery to solve. It's a reality to accept. The stronger you get in understanding this, the more control you regain over your life, your emotions, and your dating success. It's uncomfortable, yes, but growth rarely comes from comfort. And if you want to attract the kind of woman who's truly aligned with you, you need to stop chasing, start observing, and reclaim your power. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it means when she doesn't call or text. You'll understand the hidden truths men refuse to face, the patterns most ignore, and the strategies to transform your mindset from weak and reactive to strong, confident, and in control. If you've ever wondered why she goes silent or why you feel stuck waiting, get ready, because what you're about to learn will challenge everything you've been told about attraction, communication, and self-respect. And it will change the way you approach women forever. Let's get straight to it. If a woman isn't calling or texting you, the first truth you need to face is this: she's not interested. And I don't mean maybe a little bit, or she's confused. I mean she's conscious, sly, choosing not to engage. The moment you start making excuses for her silence, you're already losing. You're lying to yourself, feeding your hope, and wasting your energy on someone who isn't actively choosing you. Most men fail here because they refuse to see reality. They say things like, maybe she's busy, or maybe she's playing hard to get. That's nonsense. Busy people make time for what they want. Playing hard to get only works when there's already mutual interest. If she wanted to talk to you, she would find a way. Anything else is just a polite way of saying she's not invested. Here's why this is controversial. Society has trained men to avoid rejection at all costs. Men are told that pursuing a woman, waiting for her attention or hoping for a chance is romantic or chivalrous. But here's the harsh reality. What most men call romantic, women often see as desperate. Sitting at home, staring at your phone, waiting for a notification that never comes, doesn't make you patient or charming. It makes you weak. And the more you wait, the less she respects your presence. Let me give you a clear scenario. Imagine you've been talking to a woman for a couple of weeks. You text her, call her, and maybe she replies once in a while, but days go by with no effort from her side. Some men would convince themselves she's just tired today, or she's thinking about me. Meanwhile, she's living her life without you in it. That's not an accident. It's a choice. If she truly wanted to connect, she would reach out. Silence is not complicated. Silence is a statement. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Most men have no clue about boundaries and self-respect. They don't realize that waiting for someone to validate them emotionally is a trap. Every time you ignore your own life to obsess over whether she'll text back, you're lowering your value, and women feel it, even subconsciously. They notice when a man's self-worth depends on their attention. If you make her your priority while she doesn't make you hers, you're training her and yourself to accept imbalance. Now, some men might argue, but what if she really likes me but is shy or distracted? There's a big difference between occasional circumstances and consistent behavior. One missed text is not a problem. 2 or 3 days of no communication, that's a signal. A week, she's sending a clear message. Don't twist it. Don't invent reasons that don't exist. Reading too much into this keeps you stuck in a cycle of hope and disappointment. The brutal but empowering part is this. Once you accept that she's not interested, you free yourself. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop overanalyzing every little action or lack of action on her part. Instead, focus on the life you're building, the confidence you're cultivating, and the energy you're putting out into the world. Women notice strength, not desperation. They respect men who value themselves more than they value external validation. Consider this approach. Instead of sending another text, call, or message, put yourself first. Go out, train your mind and body, pursue a project, or connect with friends. Let your life be full without her. The moment you stop revolving around her, attention is the moment you start living on your own terms. And ironically, this is the moment women start noticing or realize they missed someone who was truly valuable. Here's one more reality check. If you continue to wait for someone who's not showing interest, you're training yourself to accept rejection repeatedly without dignity. That might not sound dramatic, but it's the silent killer of confidence for most men. Confidence is not built by hoping someone will call you. Confidence is built by choosing yourself over temporary hope and by refusing to let someone else dictate your worth. The hardest part about this lesson is swallowing your ego. Your ego will scream, "I deserve her attention," or "she'll come around eventually." Ignore it. Ego lies. Reality doesn't. Eyes. If she's not reaching out, she's sending a message. Whether you want to admit it or not, men who succeed with women who get respect and attraction are the ones who see this clearly and act accordingly. They don't wait. They don't beg. They don't hope. They move forward, live their life, and let the right people come to them naturally. So, let me leave you with this. Stop lying to yourself. Stop giving excuses for someone who isn't making an effort. Silence is not a mystery, it's a decision, and your decision should be this. Respect yourself more than you hope for her. Attention, because the moment you do, you reclaim your energy, your confidence, and your power. That's how you stop being invisible to women. And that's how you start commanding respect without ever saying a word. Here's something most men don't want to admit. Women will test you, and I'm not talking about obvious games or manipulation. You'll rarely even notice it until you reflect on your own behavior. This is subtle. It's quiet. It's almost invisible. But if you fail to recognize it, it will destroy your confidence, waste your time, and keep you chasing validation that should never be given freely. You know the feeling. You send a message. She doesn't respond immediately. You think, maybe she's busy. Maybe she'll reply later. Then hours go by, or even a day, and suddenly your mind spirals. You question your worth. You ask yourself if you did something wrong. You feel small, anxious, restless. That's the trap. That's the test. And here's the hard truth. The test isn't about her interest. It's about your reaction. Women aren't testing you to be mean or cruel. They're testing whether you have boundaries, whether you value your own life, whether you can handle uncertainty without crumbling. And most men fail. Most men panic. Most men overanalyze, sending multiple messages, calling repeatedly, hoping to break the silence. Every time you do that, you fail the test. Every time you overreact, you signal weakness. You show that your happiness depends on her attention, and that is exactly what she's observing. Let's talk about what being tested feels like. It's a quiet tension in your chest, a small panic when the phone stays silent, a constant replay in your head. What does this mean? Did I do something wrong? Does she even like me? If you felt this, you already know it. That unease, that overthinking, that tiny feeling of desperation, that's the test in action. And if you don't recognize it, it repeats itself again and again until you break the cycle. Here's the controversial part. Most men don't even realize they're being tested. They interpret it as rejection or disinterest. They think, she's ignoring me because she doesn't like me. But that's rarely the case. Silence, delayed responses, subtle pullbacks, they're not automatic rejection. They're signals to see if you can stand your ground. And if you fail, you reinforce the very behavior that women subconsciously recognize as weak, chasing. The tricky part is that this is completely normal. Almost every woman tests at some point, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's part of attraction, part of understanding who holds their life steady. And this is where so many men get it wrong. They interpret testing as a personal attack. They internalize it. They spiral, and the cycle continues. Anxiety, overthinking, desperation, then disappointment. All of it avoidable if you understand the rules of the game. You can relate to this without needing specific examples. That feeling of waiting, that doubt creeping in late at night, that urge to check the phone every few minutes, that question you ask yourself about your worth. We've all been there, we've all felt it. The difference is not in the test itself, it's in how you respond. Responding with calm, with patience, with confidence shows that you have your life together. Responding with panic, with repeated messages, with emotional neediness shows the opposite. And here's where it gets controversial. Many men think they need to prove themselves during these moments. They think that patience equals weakness and action equals strength. Wrong. Strength is in restraint. Strength is in maintaining your energy, your boundaries, your life. Strength is in recognizing that your happiness, confidence and self-worth are not on her timeline. If she's testing you, the only correct response is to keep your life full, your focus sharp, and your mind clear. Anything else is surrender. Think about it. The men who succeed, who command respect, who attract quality, women don't fall for these silent tests. They keep living, keep improving, keep building themselves. They don't obsess over delayed texts. They don't spiral into anxiety. They understand that tests are natural and they refuse to let someone else's behavior dictate their emotional state. That's why they're magnetic. That's why women are drawn to them without effort. So, if you've ever felt that tension, that pull, that silent anxiety when she doesn't reach out immediately, relate to it, recognize it, but don't let it control you. That's the trap. And breaking free from it is the first step toward real confidence, real attraction, and real control over your emotional world. Here's the takeaway. Women will test you. It's inevitable. It's not a punishment. It's not an insult. And it's not a reflection of your value. It's a measurement of how strong you are, how steady you are, and how independent you are. Stop overreacting. Stop obsessing. Stop waiting for her to validate your worth. The stronger you become in handling these moments, the more control you have over your life and the more attractive you become without ever trying to force it. Here's a truth most men refuse to face. If you're constantly waiting for a woman to call or text, you're chasing validation, and the problem isn't her, it's you. Most men don't realize it, but every anxious glance at your phone, every overthinking session, every tiny hope that she'll reach out is a sign that you've given away your power. And that's exactly why many of you are stuck, frustrated, and invisible. Let's be honest, chasing validation is weak. It's exhausting, it's embarrassing, and yet countless men do it every single day. You tell yourself it's patience, it's caring, it's showing interest, but the truth is harsh. You're acting like your self-worth depends on someone else's attention. And that mindset destroys confidence faster than rejection ever could. Think about it for a moment. You're sitting there waiting for her text. You're imagining what she's doing, what she's thinking, whether she's talking to someone else. You check your phone over and over. Every buzz or silence triggers a reaction. That's not strength. That's desperation. And here's the real kicker. Women notice. They feel it. And without realizing it, that desperation repels more than it attracts. Men, it's time to wake up. You've been lied to by society, by movies, by advice that tells you chasing someone shows love or effort. Reality is the opposite. Chasing someone who isn't showing interest only proves that your life revolves around them, not yourself. That's not attractive. That's predictable. That's invisible. And if you continue down this path, you'll repeat the same cycle again and again. Hope, disappointment, anxiety, repeat. Here's the critical point. Your power lies in independence. Your value isn't measured by who texts you first. It isn't determined by whether she responds quickly or at all. Your value is built on how you live, how you act, and how you carry yourself, regardless of external attention. Men who understand this don't chase. They engage with their life. They focus on their goals, their fitness, their social circles, and their purpose. That's what makes them magnetic. That's what creates respect. That's what makes women notice without effort. Now, some men might argue, but I care about her. I want her attention. That's fine, but caring isn't chasing. Caring is knowing your worth and still observing someone's behavior without losing yourself. Chasing is allowing someone else's actions to dictate your mood, your confidence, and your self-respect. And that's the dangerous trap most men fall into. The more you chase, the less she respects you, the less you respect yourself, and the less you grow as a man. Let me be clear, this isn't just advice, it's a wake-up call. Stop waiting, stop hoping, stop making your happiness dependent on someone else. The longer you stay in this pattern, the more invisible you become, and the less power you have in your own life. Most men spend years spinning their wheels, thinking they're pursuing love, when in reality they're just running a race where they start at a disadvantage. Here's the hard truth. If you continue chasing validation, you're not just wasting your time, you're weakening yourself. Every moment spent obsessing over whether she'll text is a moment you could be improving yourself, building confidence, expanding your world, and becoming the kind of man who doesn't need validation from anyone. That's the kind of man who women notice, naturally, who commands respect without trying, and who never has to question his worth. So, what's the solution? Reclaim your power, shift your focus back to yourself. Invest in your life, your goals, your friendships, your fitness, your skills, your hobbies. Make your world so full, so magnetic, so undeniable that her attention is a bonus, not a requirement. Stop thinking that silence equals rejection. Start thinking that silence is a mirror, a reflection of whether you've allowed yourself to depend too much on external approval. Men, it's time to wake up. Stop letting your ego, your fear, or your hope control your actions. Stop proving yourself to anyone who doesn't already value you. The stronger you get at valuing yourself first, the more natural attraction will follow. That's power, that's freedom, and that's exactly what separates men who are stuck, waiting, and frustrated from men who are confident, respected, and magnetic. Remember this: no text, no call, no reaction should determine your worth. Your life, your happiness, and your confidence are yours to control. Stop chasing validation. Reclaim your power and watch everything, your respect, your confidence, your attractiveness change as a result. Here's the truth that most men won't admit. And it's going to sound controversial, but it's exactly the reality most of you need to face. If you're constantly waiting for a woman to call or text, you are the problem, not her. Yes, you heard that right. Not her, not the circumstances, not timing. You, men, spend years blaming women, overanalyzing behavior, hoping for answers that will never come, and convincing themselves that patience will be rewarded. Meanwhile, their life slips by, confidence dwindles, and respect evaporates. This might hit hard, but it's necessary. Too many men are invisible because they allow their value to be dictated by someone else's attention. You wait, you hope, you obsess. You lose sleep, you lose focus. And for what? For someone who hasn't made you a priority. And here's the controversial part. If you keep doing this, you're never going to grow. You're never going to attract the right women, and you're setting yourself up for years of frustration. Harsh? Yes. True. Absolutely. Let me break it down for you. Every time you refresh your phone, every time you check for a response, every time you make excuses for her, silence, you are surrendering your power. And here's the deeper truth that no one talks about. Women notice it even subconsciously. They feel when a man's happiness depends on them. They feel when a man's energy is tied to their validation. And without realizing it, that desperation diminishes attraction. That's why so many men feel invisible, stuck, and undervalued, even when they're trying their hardest. But this isn't just criticism, and it's a wake-up call. And here's the advice you rarely hear. Stop obsessing over whether she'll reach out. Stop wondering why she hasn't called. Stop waiting for someone else to dictate your confidence or happiness. Reclaim it yourself. Live your life with purpose. Focus on building yourself and set your standards so high that attention from the right women becomes a bonus, not a necessity. That's where your power lives. That's where respect starts. That's where attraction is natural, undeniable, and effortless. Now, I want you to reflect on something. How often have you paused your life, delayed your plans, or overthought every interaction because you wanted her attention? How many times have you convinced yourself that silence equals uncertainty, that waiting equals patience, and that chasing equals care? The uncomfortable truth is this: you've been lying to yourself, and it's costing you more than you realize. Every minute you spend waiting, worrying, or over-analyzing is a minute lost. Lost confidence, lost growth, lost opportunities to become the man who naturally commands respect. Here's where it gets even more controversial. Some men will watch this and think I'm being unfair or harsh. They'll say, it's not that simple. Relationships are complicated. And yes, life has nuances, but attraction, confidence, and self-respect are simple. If someone isn't showing interest, don't over-complicate it. Don't chase, don't obsess, don't sacrifice yourself for approval. That's the truth most men refuse to face. And if you finally accept it, you'll be shocked at how much freedom it gives you. I want to make a promise to you. This isn't just about theory. I want you to interact, to comment on your experiences, to share the frustrations, the confusion, and even the mistakes you've made. I read every comment and I genuinely connect with those who are ready to take this seriously. Because here's what I know from seeing so many men stuck in this cycle. Once you face this truth, once you stop chasing, once you reclaim your power, you become magnetic in ways you never imagined. You start attracting the right attention, not by forcing it, not by begging for it, but simply by being a man who values himself more than anyone else could. So here's your challenge. Reflect honestly. Look at your past patterns. Ask yourself whether you've been waiting for validation from someone who wasn't giving it. Be real, be brutal, and then act. Don't wait another day. Don't make another excuse. Reclaim your time, your energy, your confidence. Start living for yourself. Build your life. Elevate your standards. And when you do, everything changes. Everything. The right women notice. Your confidence skyrockets. Your respect multiplies. And your life becomes undeniably yours. Remember, this is controversial because it challenges the lie most men live under, that waiting, hoping, and chasing is honorable. It's not. Real honor, real power, and real attraction come from stopping the chase, stopping the hope, and starting to live for yourself. Comment your thoughts. Share your experiences. Let me know how often you've fallen into the trap of waiting for attention that didn't come. I'll read every word, and I want to connect with you personally because this isn't just a video. It's a wake-up call. Your life, your power, your confidence, they're in your hands. Stop giving them away. Reclaim them and watch everything